Hey, what's going on YouTube? Back at it again. I know it's been a while. I say I'm going to make videos consistently. It's just harder than they actually appear. Well, it ain't hard. It's just making the time to do it. And I got my whole studio set up in my office downtown. It's making the time to do it. But I had to come back and we got to chop it up about the fade in the water. The melee on the river, the Montgomery Melee, whatever you want to call it. It was an epic event that went down on August 5th, 2023. And I just want to give you my perspective from a former loss prevention supervisor, loss prevention agent / security guard, current bail bondsman, private investigator. I just wanted to come at you with a perspective from a bail bondsman, history and doing corrections. Just wanted to come with my perspective on the whole thing. And first and foremost, I was in Alabama when this actually happened. I was in Gulf Shores at the time, which is, I say Gulf Shores is not too far from Montgomery. Let's see. How far is Gulf Shores? It's 3 hours and 10 minutes. I was in Alabama when this actually went down, and I didn't know what went on until probably the next morning. I guess, what day was that? That was Sunday morning. And my wife started telling me about it, and then my daughter, we were down there on vacation, and they started telling me about it. It was a big fight on the river. Black versus white and chair swinging. I'm like, I'm going to have to go check this out myself. Let me see what's going on. And they kept telling me about my wife and my daughter. I said, I'm not going to watch till I get back home. Because I drove the whole way home. It's like a 9-hour drive. And I just had it in me to drive all the way back to Arkansas. And so, like a 9-hour drive, and I don't drink energy drinks. And this is my deal with energy drinks. I don't drink them until I have to get on the road. So when I do use them, they hit me like crazy. So I'm up all day. I'm up so. When I hit the energy drink, I'm totally on go mode because it hits me like somebody ain't never smoked like weed before. And you don't smoke once, or you're gonna be high as hell. Same thing with me and energy drinks. I save them. I never use energy drinks until I'm on the road. And I don't just take real long road trips with being a bail bondsman. I do have to go all type of places. I go to like Chicago. It's like 9 hours from Little Rock. New Orleans, 7 hours. Houston, 6 hours. Dallas, 4. I have to travel. Oklahoma City, like 4 or 5. And so I'll save them for then, especially if it's a turnaround trip. If I'm going to be up all night or something like that. But anyway, yeah, the Melee, you done seen all the videos, you done seen everything that happened, there's new updates on it. But first and foremost, I want to let everybody know, if you're not from the South, I'm from the South, I grew up in Arkansas all my life. If you're not from the South, these type of things happen not all the time, but it's not uncommon. And I grew up in a small town that was predominantly white, and you have these things pop off at any time, like where it's like people call it like a race war. But I'm gonna tell you really what it is. It kind of is like black versus. It's like sometimes the people are racist and sometimes people aren't. But it might be a couple white guys and a couple black guys get drunk somewhere and they get into it. It could be just something random, something stupid. It could be over something somebody said, or it could have been, a lot of times at football games, where it usually always happens at the high school, not big professional football games, but high school football games. That's usually when the fights pop off, black against white, after the football game, especially if it's like two small towns that are close. Usually a lot of white, black stuff pop off then, especially like if it's an all-white, like majority white school playing a majority black school in football. These small towns across from Alabama to Georgia to Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, ask some people from the South. It's not uncommon that you get fights that break out everywhere. And And then we call them race wars. And a lot of times, just say like hypothetically in a small town, and you got one white school and another school black. It's a football game. After the game, or even during the game, be a fight break out between the parents and the uncles and cousins. And that happens all the time. It's just never on video like it was this time. And a lot of times, if it's in the same small town, these white people and black people will fight. It'd be like a race war. Then 2 or 3 days later, everybody be at the same little restaurants eating. Cause like in the small towns, you ain't got but 5, 6 restaurants at the most. Everybody know everybody. After the fight, a couple days later, everybody going to the same McDonald's, same Sonic, same Pizza Hut, the little chain restaurants or the little mom and pop restaurants. Everybody's still hanging around. It'll be a fight and to get back to normal. What I will say, I'm glad though nobody got shot or stabbed or hurt. But these things, just if you're not from the South, this type of stuff happens more often than you think. Like I said, you just don't hear about it because it don't make the mainstream news. But just my analysis on it, and we're going to look at it from a law enforcement stance. All right, you got a security guard doing his job, patrolling the dock, making sure people don't pull up, making sure people don't block the dock, because they actually have boats there to dock there. They're stationed to dock there. So you got a security job doing his job. I'm going to break it down this way, just from strictly law enforcement stance. You got a guy doing his job. These guys pull up. They try to dock there. They did dock there and got out. The guy did his job and, untied the dock knots or whatever to keep the boat over there. And that's where the problem happened. You got these guys come off the boat. One gets in his face. And they start. Well, you see 2 or 3 different times where he's discussing the situation and why you can't park there. And the white guy just took it upon and said, "Yeah, I'm parking here," and they're arguing about it. They have more words and more words and more words, and then it looked like the time for talking was up. And they were arguing. Black guy threw his head up like Bobby Shmurda, and they got to fighting. And the black guy had him, was choking him. You can see it. Then all of a sudden, the little white guy buddy came through, grabbed him, and tried to put him in the chokehold. And what a lot of people don't see in that, it looked like the white guy was trying to choke him out like the guy on the subway in New York. Even though I'm not saying the guy in New York was wrong for choking the dude out because he was harassing people, but he was trying to put him in the chokehold. And they started jumping on dude. So every instance, these white gentlemen were in the wrong. 1, by not just moving along after they've been told they can't dock there. 2, by arguing with the security guard. 3, when they got physical, and then when his buddies tried to jump in. After they jumped in, you see the guy run from the stairs down there. He looked like he was trying to break it up. And after that, you got everybody else started to come. And then you got the little young guy, let's say 16 years old, jumped in the river, swam across the river, with a little inlet. It's the river or whatever. Jumped up. At first, everybody thought he didn't do anything, but if you see more angles of the whole video, he actually choked. He picked up one guy and dropped him. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show you that they jumped on him, then you got all the brothers, all the black folks come down, and it was on from there. You seen the video, and it was just a fight in a melee. And the things I'm trying to point out in this whole video is what you probably didn't know so well. Other people are talking about. I just want to show you a few things in there. One is those guys jump on the security guard. No place for that. No place for that. There's no place for jumping on the security guard at all. No matter if you're black, white, whatever. The security guard was just doing his job. He wasn't doing anything forceful. He was unarmed security at that. He was just trying to keep the dock clear. And I'm assuming, not saying, I'm just assuming those guys on the boat, because when you're on a boat and on the party barge, we call it party barge or a pontoon. But party barge, You drinking on there, and I guarantee, I can probably bet 99% that they were drinking and they got inebriated and they're like, we just gonna do what we want, you know. We just gonna do what we want. We gonna give them this. We gonna park right here, and who gonna tell me not to, you know? And with all that being said, like when a little young guy swam across the river, he jumped up on the deck. And you see him drying out, squeezing his shirt out and stuff. He picked up and choke slammed, pretty much, not choke slammed, but he picked him up and slammed one of the guys. And they started stomping him out. You had the women, everybody involved fighting. But just some, because we all watched the video, but just some points to take away from this. If you notice, all right, you can tell a time where I saw where it was real antsy, just looking from a security standpoint, when the black brothers ran over to the boat when the white guys tried to jump in the boat. And I guess it looked like they were trying to pull off, but when they jumped the boat, they went to like the little compartment, like they were finna get a gun. So I'm like, oh crap. And I watched it when I first time watched it. I hope he don't get a gun. Hope he don't grab a gun. But luckily, he didn't grab a gun. And they just fought. They just fought like men out there. And I respect that about both groups. Like I said, with no knives, no guns, they just fought like men. The other thing I want to tell you about that, Montgomery is around 60% black, I want to say, or African American, and FBA, whatever you want to call it. And I think like 30 to 40% white. So you got a large black population there. I think the population is around 200,000. But that being said, you can see when the police came out, it was pretty much all black police officers and one white officer. And I want to make that notation right there just to show you, when you got people policing their own, you have less times where police are shooting people or harming. When you police your own, you have less chance for officer shootings. You know what I'm saying? Because you know your people. And you can see a whole time where the police could have easily shut that down. They could have just came in. I was just surprised police didn't come in and just start macing everybody. Because usually when it's a brawl or a fight, police just come in and spraying. Fight's over with in less than 5 seconds. They didn't. They were looked like they were just trying to figure it out and wade through everything, which is funny. Then also, you never didn't really see any police draw down on anybody. And I believe that's because it was a lot. It's not about being a black police officer, it's about policing their own. It was a lot of black police officers policing black people. So they know their people. They know how to control their people. They know where to take it and how to take it. And so the police broke it up almost like a calm manner. Then you had the guy with the chair hitting everybody, which was very entertaining in itself. And the police just had to arrest him at that point, because like being a bail bondsman, you hit people with the chair like, hey, come on, man, we gotta arrest you, man. You just doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and put you in hand, because they had to do that to show an impression of control. Because now the chair is technically a weapon, so we got to subdue anybody with a weapon. So they had to arrest him on GP for general purposes. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that stood out. And it was just a crazy event. But these type of things happen. If you do not know, these type of things happen in the South all the time. This is just the first time it was recorded. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, a lot of times, all of them from Montgomery, these folks will be at the same football, basketball games here in the fall. And they'll see each other, and they'll probably damn near shake each other's hands a month or two. If this wasn't on camera, we're like, yeah, we got to fight. The white guys be like, yeah, we was drunk, I was wrong, I apologize. This shit happen all the time. This shit happen all the time in the South. And have you noticed how mainstream media, especially like CNN, MSNBC, I don't watch none of them, Fox, but I've been just checking. They ain't having no big talks about this right now. You don't see them making long videos, long shows debating this and talking about it and on the ticker and just pushing this every news cycle about the Montgomery Brawl, the fade in the river, the Montgomery Melee. You know why they not talking about it? Because it doesn't fit the narrative of black people being a victim. And that's the biggest point I want to make out of this. Think about it. If this black security guard would have just got jumped by these white guys and no black people would have came and helped them and just say something happened and he died out there because they beat him up so bad, or when a white guy went down there to choke him out and they was kicking and punching him, or he was gravely injured or just hurt real bad, broken bones, and you would have seen Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crump, the usual cast of characters coming out, talking about the ongoing legacy of slavery, racism still exists in modern times, blah, 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 the whole spiel. But guess what? Black folks didn't sit around and be the victims in this instance, so they can't hustle off this incident. Peep game. They can't hustle because the black people weren't victims. So guess what? They have nothing to push now. What you gonna push? What you gonna push now? A black security guard got mistreated by a bunch of drunk white guys, thugs, hoodlums, whatever you want to call them, idiots, buffoons. And the black people handled the business and got the situation under control. Pretty much. They took advantage of the situation and weren't victims and fought back and won. So there's nothing to hustle about. Ain't no race hustling going on now. They can't go on about the ongoing legacy of slavery. We can't do nothing. This and this. The black people took control of the situation and weren't victims and fought back and won. So there's no victim narrative to be played. So they can't hustle off there. You ain't seen Joe Biden come out making a speech, Kamala Harris, because there wasn't no victims. It was an attempted person being a victim, but they didn't let that ride. That's what the report I want to take you. Peep game. Watch CNN. Watch Fox. Watch MSNBC. Well, not Fox, because they don't play the little victim game, even though I don't watch Fox. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS. Ain't no victim games. Ain't no victim. They quiet. They pretty quiet. They're not even talking about it a lot, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And now they put warrants out for three of the white gentlemen that were in the incident. Per the gentlemen's names were Richard Roberts. He's 48, charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault, which is correct. Alan Todd, 23, and Zachary Shipman, 25, were each charged with 1 count. But also, they can load them up on charges because they misdemeanors though. But I would say they should be hit with trespassing because after the man told you can't park there, you still parked there anyway. So the owner, the driver of the boat, and the people that got off should be charged with trespass because I'm pretty sure he told them to leave and told all of them to leave when they got into it. Get out of here, leave your trespass. They should be charged with trespassing and also disorderly conduct, misdemeanors. You should add those on, just in my opinion. Just being a bail bondsman and seeing just the nature of the charges. The black folks, I just don't see how you gonna charge them if you're talking about back in blue, and that includes security guards too, because they saw a security guard, which is law technically, provide security, getting attacked. You saw these citizens come out to help the police officers because you can flip it around the other way. It was 3 or 4 black dudes jumping on a white security guard, and the white people came out to fight off the black dudes. I wouldn't have no problem. Like, they ain't got no business fighting security. My answer would be, why are they fighting security? Why are they pulling up there on the boat ramp? They have no business doing that. That's the same way with these guys. They had no business doing this. Now, who's to say if they racist or not? I don't know. Could be not. But this is just one of these situations where the white guys and the women were in the wrong the whole time. And it's just one of these times where the black people and the black group of people got together and fought back. And like I said, once again, I'm just glad there weren't no guns and no knives involved, you know. And it's just one of these things that happens. I don't think it should. Oh, it's entertaining as hell. We're gonna talk about this for a long time. I do want people to be careful because you're gonna have a lot of people amped up now, trying to recreate this, or if they see a scenario or scene where something going down and overreact. Each side, black or white, they can overreact and live this out, just like movies. You see stuff in movies or videos, and you try to almost recreate it. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want nobody else to get hurt just because after they seen this video, they amped up with emotions and try to go out here and do something stupid. That's either side. But I will say, like I said, I'm saying this for the 10th time. We call them race wars in the South, but they really not just white. Sometimes it is some racially motivated, but sometimes it's a group of white guys, group of black guys, one or two of the guys in each crew get into it. It just so happened all these guys are black, all these guys white, and they have a fight. It's big brawls. And a lot of times they're from a small town. I'm gonna tell you something. It's a small town in the South, and it'd be a race war. But them people from that same town go out of town and it's a fight. They'll help each other, believe it or not. You might think I'm lying. Just say if you're in a small town, like say Arkansas, like let's see a small, like even like one from West Memphis. They have black and white people there. They might fight in the city all day long, but if you go out of state and they go to Little Rock and go to a football game or something, and some black guys from West Memphis get to fighting with some guys from Little Rock, the white guys probably gonna help. Or vice versa. White guys from West Memphis get to fight with some guys from Little Rock. Black dudes probably gonna help. And they may have been fighting back in their hometown. But when they go out of town, they gonna link up. It's stranger than fiction. Or the funniest thing, same guys is out here fighting. If they all from Montgomery, it'd be the same type of shit where the black dude could be broke down or get stuck in the ditch in his truck. It'd be the same type of white guy with a Confederate flag come. He might be racist, don't really care for black people, wouldn't want you dating their daughter. But he see a black guy stuck in the ditch somewhere in the mud, he'll come pull him out with his truck. For real. He might not want you to date his daughter, but he'll come get you out the road and get you stuck. He'll get dirty and mess up his clothes and get you out the road. He might not like you, but it's just weird. I grew up in the South all my life. It's just weird like that. And he'll come get you stuck. He'll mess up his good clothes and damn near tear his truck up trying to pull you out the ditch. Just say you wasn't paying attention around the ditch. He'll get a chain and damn near tear his truck up trying to get you out. But he might not really fool with you, you know. But that's just how it is in the South. I grew up in the South all my life, and that's just kind of how it is. But yeah, it was more entertaining than anything. But just all remember, they can't hustle off this because the black folks weren't the victim. They ain't got nothing to push, and they ain't got ongoing legacy of slavery or anything. Because we handled it. It's all over with now, pretty much, other than the charges. But I do think the white guys definitely should be charged. They should be held accountable. And I say the same, like it was vice versa. Even the guy with the chair, he's fighting because y'all attacking law enforcement. So I just don't see where you can charge black guys. I mean, they probably will. I just don't see it, though. That's just being real. And then I seen stuff with Richard Smiley trying to bring Trump into this and this. And Trump had a rally down there in Alabama, which could have amped up a lot of white people. It could have, but this ain't got like we still ain't voting for Biden down here. We ain't trying to turn our kids out. We don't want high gas. We don't like inflation. We don't like none of the policies you got going on because they are anti-family and have nothing to do with the black community. and white community, or just working class people. Everything you do, hey, they ain't changing. Hey, we ain't voting for Biden. That's what we ain't doing. I'm not voting. I'm saying I'm not voting for a Democrat. Cause like, tell me how your policies help us. We not still. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't happening. But anyway, I just want to drop a video. I'm 25 minutes in. I think I'm gonna talk about Tory Lanez next. But I just wanted to get back here and get on these videos. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. All right.